Corrosive Blast is fun, which is why we have this build. Now, the very first and most important mod we have here is Brainstorm. 100 ammo efficiency for half a second on headshot, which is constantly refreshable, and it means what it says this time. This will actually give you infinite ammo, or just pause the amount of ammo you're using, as long as you are hitting constant headshots. And truthfully, I thought that having stabilizer instead of vigilante supplies was a bad idea. But if you're constantly aiming for the head, ammo is really not going to be a problem for you. It works surprisingly well. Also, stabilizer removes all recoil, well, all visual recoil from the weapon, which makes it significantly nicer to use. And then, of course, we have Blast, we have Prime Cryo rounds and Hellfire to help bring up the damage. We have Corrosive in the 60/60s to help bring up the status chance, and also to have a lower weighting so Blast can proc more often. And then crit damage, galvanized chamber, and scope. Along with primary deadhead for primary deadhead reasons, of course. Now, with that said, I was running a Warframe Arcane to help this out, and that is Arcane Acceleration to boost up the fire rate. Now, if you're okay with the 20-ish fire rate it has, then this would be considered a flex slot. Even the Prisma Grakata, which is like the best version that we currently have, it still is a bit lacking in damage. So if you wanted to put Arcane Rage to boost up primary weapon damage by, I think it was like 180%, you can do that. It's always going to benefit from any extra damage that you put on there. So if you don't want acceleration, you could put Arcane Rage or anything else. To be honest, these are both technically flex slots. I have Arcane Avenger because I just am always running it, and it helps with the crit, since all we have is Galvanized Scope, which is good, and you're going to be able to maintain pretty easily, because, again, you're going to be going for headshots all the time. Now, this is a good and fun build, and I'm going to show you its efficacy here in a second, but before I do that, to show you how it's ripping through Steel Path, having a viral priming pet is very, very helpful, even without galvanized aptitude, because it's still going to overall weaken the enemy, and that is important. That is very important and very helpful. And on top of that, galvanized aptitude is additive, because this is a hit scan weapon and not a projectile weapon, which the difference is when you pull the trigger, it immediately hits, and for a projectile weapon, you pull the trigger and there's actual time that it has to take to target. TTT, time to target. The shorthand that I use, Trip T. So it is still very beneficial to have a priming pet, specifically a viral priming pet, which I'm going to show you what I was using. Because, again, this weapon is on the weaker side, but it will definitely get work done. So, this is my mod setup. You can do something different. I'm just showing you to show what I have for this. Arc Coil and Manifold Bond, so that way whenever it arc coils people, it will be applying whatever elements you have to your Sentinel weapon to the arc coil. So you're going to be priming, technically, with 2 weapons instead of just 1, because it'll periodically zap people, on top of the Hellstrom that I'm about to show you. So that is very helpful to prime even faster. Other than that, you can use, whatever here. And of course, we have my Hellstrom, which is viral, magnetic, radiation, and heat, because upon explosion of the micro missiles of Hellstrom, you get heat. Here is my Riven, that is providing cold, and the rest of the mods, so you can take a look at right quick. And that is that for the main build. I have 2 other builds that you can try out to see if you would prefer those, and to just offer a bit of variety, but I'm going to show those after I show you the efficacy of the Corrosive and Blast build in Steel Path. So, here it is. And here is the second build that I have, a Primary Acuity Build. Now, most of the time, you're going to want to run Serration, even if you have Galvanized Aptitude, because it's all just really helpful, right? Especially on a weapon that has 33 damage. Golly, dude. But this actually does run pretty well. It does. Now, if you don't care about having the punch through and the extra fire rate, especially if you're actually going to run Arcane Acceleration, then you can take Prime Shred out for Serration, or if not having Serration at all, or the extra fire rate isn't something that you care about, and you're already doing enough with this build, and maybe in tandem with your Warframe, then that would be a flex slot for whatever you'd like. Crit damage, more crit chance, whatever. But of course, we still have, Brainstorm doing its thing, Primary Acuity. Most of us know what that does, and then Corrosive, and of course we got crit chance, which will help out Acuity, Galvanized Aptitude, Stabilizer again, because it's very helpful, and Primary Acuity's Headshot Multiplier is multiplicative with the weak point damage. So that's why we got that. Not too much to explain here. And then we have our generic do-it-all build, nothing special. Just get it done. Brainstorm as always. Again Corrosive. Again Deadhead, Stabilizer Scope, blah blah. I mean, I don't really need to go over that. And this is if you just want to hop in, drop in, and mess some stuff up. But those are the builds, y'all. I personally am having the most fun with Corrosive Build, which is... I was actually a little bit surprised at how good it was doing. Truthfully, the Prisma Grakata is good, it's just lacking in the damage department, but once you get enough damage, everything else falls together. It all comes together, and this is actually an insane beast. So, you're gonna be rocking and rolling. Don't discount it. It is good. It is fun. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, consider subscribing so you can get regular content, and if you'd like to help the channel grow, well, you can do that completely free, just by commenting, liking, and sharing the video with your friends. Hell, even share it with your enemies if you want. I hope you all have a good day, a good night, and may RNG be in our favor.